Good afternoon, student. My name is Mr. Bola Jishobande. Welcome to this class. Remember, last week we treated sequence of adjective. Now, before we move on to this class, we're going to look at some exercises on sequence of adjective, and I'm going to reiterate on what I taught you last week. So, remember when we talk about sequence of adjective, we said this is the arrangement of adjective, arrangement of multiple adjective to describe a noun in a sentence. Now, what do I mean by multiple adjective? When you are using two or more than two adjectives to describe a noun in a sentence, it has a particular order, which I gave you that last week. We said the first thing is what? D. When D stands for determiner. Determiner are a group of words that precede noun in a sentence. Determiner can be subdivided into the following. Talk about what? Article A and D, possessive adjective, is, are, our, your, their, my, demonstrative adjective, this, that, those, this, quantifier, a few of, several, many, little, some. Having said that, under the arrangement of adjective, like I repeat, the word determiner must come first, followed by O. O simply means what? Ordinator. Ordinator are simply numbers. We have cardinal number and ordinal number. So after determiner, cardinal number, ordinator comes first. We have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, second, third. Then the third one, we call it what? Epithet. Epithet are descriptive adjective used to show the quality of a noun. Under the epithet, you remember, we talk about two types. We have subjective and objective adjective. Subjective adjective shows what? For instance, now, you can decide to call a friend of yours. You may say that it's quite accommodating. While some may see him as quite what? Hostile, inaccessible. Many two people can have the same opinion. That is under what? Subjective adjective. That deal with what? Opinion adjective. Then the next one we call it what? Objective adjective. This one shows what? Size. Size of material will come first, followed by what? Shape, followed by what? Age, followed by what? Color, followed by what? Material, then participle. So SI, we all know that SI stands for what? Size. SH, shape. A, age. CO, color. MA, material. PA, participle. Now under size, we are talking about tall, short, big, small. Under shape, we have what? Rectangular, triangular, spherical, circular. Under age, we have what? Modern, old, young. Under color, we have blue, red. Under material, it could be what? Nylon, golden, silver. Then under participle word is a group of words that participle perform the function of an adjective. And it could end word en, ed, or ing. What am I en? Check. Most adjectives normally end word en. For instance, broken jaw, dilapidated structure. The word dilapidated is an adjective qualifying the noun structure. Amazing personality. Amazing Gerald. That use what? ing words, right? So all these words, they call them what? Participle. They come after what? Material. Then we have what is called n, nominal. The origin of the material. Togolese, Nigerian, French. Then we have what is called, the last one there is what? Ed. Age. Age stands for what? Ed word. Simply means the noun being modified by what? Cluster of adjective. The noun being modified by what? Cluster of adjective. Having said that now, we're going to look at exercises based on what we did last week. Now, if you check your screen there, we have what? Look at it. The clown was wearing a dash hat. A, we have a big yellow, big green yellow. B, green and yellow. Yellow and green. Now remember under the arrangement, we said size must come first. Big is under what size? Green, yellow is what? Color. So from the option, B, big, green, and yellow. C, yellow and green, big. So the answer is what? A. Then if you look at that's number 5. We started with number 5. Number 6. The quiz that you dash. A, smell delicious, bake. That's A. B, bake, smell delicious. C, delicious, smell, bake. Now, remember, under the argument, delicious from the word, subjective adjective. Subjective adjective will come first. It can be smell, delicious, bake. Is wrong. B, delicious. Bake, smell, delicious is wrong. Delicious, smell, bake. Because delicious is under word, adjective. So the answer should be C there. That's the next number. That's the next number. Is it dash? Code. Now, getting is under participle. Code getting outside is wrong. Getting outside code is wrong. The answer is B. Getting code outside. Number 8, the course you are taking. A, sounds interesting. Sound interesting taking. Interesting sound. The answer is A. B, sound interesting. Wait, the course you are taking. A, the course you are taking sounds interesting. That is A. The next number. Number 9, my uncle wore a dash to the wedding. Silk blue tie, tie blue silk, blue silk tie. Now remember, blue fall under what? Color. Silk material. That is the head word. The answer is C. Let's say that number 10. Have you met that dash next door? Cute boy new, cute new boy cute. Now cute fall under subject adjective. Cute new boy. The answer is B. So from what you've seen now, you can see that we have done some exercises on what? Order of adjective. So today's class is what we mean by register. And what we talk about register is an aspect of English that you can't do without it. Whether you are science inclined, art, or commercial, there's no two ways about it. And they've only put register in order to ensure that your scope of knowledge is what? Enlarged. And don't say that because I'm a science student, any that relate to art, you don't want to be a part and parcel of it. So when you talk about register are words that are peculiar to a particular field of study or human endeavor. Now, there are some terms that are peculiar to what? Law. There are some terms that are peculiar to what? Science, medicine, and surgery. Now, under law, if you hear word like what? Client, defense counsel, prosecuting counsel, subpoena, bar, barrister, advocate, solicitor. All these are what? Terms that are peculiar to what? Law. And when you talk about advocates, a lawyer that protects his client in a court of law. Client is a person that seeks advice of a what? Professional. Now, but today's class, we are going to deal with what? Medicine and surgery. We don't want to deviate. Now, I believe that virtually everybody is conversant with medicine and surgery. Don't say that you're art or whatever. It's an aspect of English that we call register in order to enhance the scope of knowledge of students. Because when you get to an institution, whether you're art or science or commercial, you do something related to other discipline or area of human endeavor. So in order not to be caught snappy, there's need for you to understand register, and that we call lessons and structure. You know, in your JAM, compression followed by what? Lessons and structure. And that lesson also follow under what? Register. And we always about 30-something register. So today we are looking at what? Term used in medicine and surgery. The first word there is what? Surgeon. When you talk about a surgeon is a medical doctor that carry out an operation. We are quite conversant with them. The number 2, we have a cardiologist. A cardiologist is a person that deals with heart-related. Cardiologist is a medical doctor that deals with heart-related problem. So some people, they have what? High blood pressure. Anything that strikes in them, they do what? Get inflicted or positive. So in order to ensure that their life is what? Resuscitated from the verge of death. Now, cardiologist is a person that deals with what? Heart-related diseases. Now, what is called what? Stethoscope. It's a device used to check the heartbeat of an adult or individual. Well, it's called obstetrician. Obstetrician is a medical doctor that deals with the birth of children. We have orthopedic. It's a branch of medicine that deals with the arrangement of bones. Now, if someone has an accident now, we have a Bobi nearby here. That we can usually take it to arrangement of bones. It's called orthopedic. We have a dermatologist. dermatologist. A medical doctor that did what? Skin beautification. We have plastic surgery. Now, when you talk about plastic surgery, it has gained a lot of ground in the last decade, even present now. And this plastic surgery, it has equally led to several deaths. And all in a bid to ensure that they are relevant in the scheme of things. And all these celebrities, some may be dissatisfied with their work color. Some may be dissatisfied with any part of their body. They will go for plastic surgery. The likes of Stella Obasanjo, who happened to be first lady under our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. The woman went for plastic surgery in Malaga, Spain. She eventually died because she wants to remain relevant. And when you talk about plastic surgery, you are trying to enhance your beauty, defect in your beauty. Most of your skin, they have to go through a complete transformation. Some they go for waist enlargement, some breast enlargement. So all these things, it has what do you call it? Consequence. Now, when you talk about plastic surgery, it is meant to what? Enhance the beauty of the person. And it is quite expensive. The likes of what's the name of this man, the Pope man, late Michael Jackson, equally involved in this work, plastic surgery too. And we all see the repercussion. We don't want to go to that one. So when you talk about plastic surgery, it's a kind of what? Skin transformation in order to make that person look extremely what? Handsome, pretty, good looking, charming. They all have to undergo complete transformation skin-wise. Now, having said that, we also have what is called autopsy. When you talk about autopsy, when someone dies now, an examination will be carried out to ascertain the cause of death of that person, so that they will be sure. Someone can just die now. Maybe that person is poisoned. They will not know. So when they carry that out autopsy is ascertain. They will be able to ascertain what led to the death of that person in order to save an innocent soul. So autopsy is an examination carried out to ascertain the cause of death of a person. We also have forensic science. This is a branch of science that deal with crime detection using fingernails. If you are watching this film, what they call this Flash, in Flash, that season film, that guy is a forensic science. He will detect crime by identifying fingerprints. And I don't know, it's, in Nigeria, it's not that well embraced, but it's lucrative. But it's just like one is, you have to risk your life. If you have to risk your life, you're a forensic science, because you have to detect crime using what? Fingernails. And that means your life will be at risk. Having said that, we also have what is called bacteriology. The branch of science that deal with study of bacteria. The branch of science that deal with what? Study of bacteria. We also have stethoscope. Stethoscope is a device too, used to check the heartbeat of an infant who's within the age of 3 months to 6 months in the womb of the mother, in order to ascertain whether the baby is still kicking in good condition of health. Why we said that stethoscope is used for what? Adults. Stethoscope for an infant. We also have this one, amnesia. This is what we call temporary loss of memory. It could occur as a result of an accident or something tragic that trigger unpleasant memory. And some, it may take them a year for them to recover. Some for life, they may not. And when someone is affected by this, what that person actually is what? Love from his loved one, affection. But in Nigeria, some people so. Now, back to what we're saying now. We have what? temporary loss of memory. We have sedative. This is a drug used to induce what? Sleep. Let's assume that you have been taken to hospital for an operation. Some, they are very nervous, or they always develop coffee when it comes to what? Operation. So when they give them sedative drugs, anesthesia, it will definitely induce sleep. They will not know when all those things will be carried out. Then we also have gynecologists. We all know that female reproductive organ is very well fragile, and as a result, unlike the male folk, we are strong. Now, when we talk about it's a medical doctor that deal with female and their related diseases. Just like we're having any problem in your inner. So when we talk about gynecology, a medical doctor that deal with women and their related diseases, their primary function is to ensure that they are in perfect condition. So, unlike obstetrician that deal with birth of children, gynecology deal with all women and their attendant diseases, just like toilet infection, etc. We also have insomnia. When someone is having this, it shows that that person is unable to what? Sleep, lack of sleep. It could be as a result of events, terrible events that occur in the past, and that you have not really taken off your mind. And each time you thought about it, you find sleep very hard. So when we talk about insomnia, lack of sleep, and we all know the repercussion, that way we definitely have fall sick. So when you have insomnia, lack of sleep, we said an amnesia, temporary loss of memory. We also have this, what they call it? We have virology, scientific study of virus. We have blood donor, blood bank, blood transfusion, blood donor is a person that donates blood voluntarily to patients who are at the critical stage of their life, that they need blood for them to be what? Revived. Then what? Blood bank is a place where blood can be what? Bought. We have blood bank, most of these general hospitals. Blood transfusion is the transfer of blood from one person to the other. We also have so we have we've talked about stethoscope, anesthesia, gynecologists, cardiologists, orthopedic, sedative. We also have how many have we talked about? Blood donor, blood transfusion, blood bank, virologist. We have postnatal, antenatal. Postnatal is given to what? A breastfeeding mother after the delivery of the child. Why antenatal is what? Children given to a what? A pregnant woman before delivery. Then we have what? Morgue. A morgue is a place where corpses are deposited for identification. Morgue. Morgue. M-O-R-G-U-E. We said a morgue is a place where corpses are deposited for identification. We have a what do you call it? Morgue. Neurosurgeon. Neurosurgeon. A medical doctor that deals with brain disorder. A medical doctor that deal with what? Brain disorder, the neurology, the branch of science that deal with nervous system. We have what else have I not mentioned? Let me even list them so that I'll be able to collect the one I've omitted. We started with the first word, surgeon. Surgeon, number one. We have a gynecologist, obstetrician, dermatologist. We have a bacteriologist, bacteriology, virology. We have sedative. We have sedative. We have obstetrician is there. Dermatology is there. Pathology, the branch of science that deal with what? Pathogen, pathology. Pathology, the branch of science that deal with what? Disease, pathology. Well, we talked about blood donor. We talk about blood donor, blood bank, blood transfusion. Talk about monk. Talk about autopsy. Talk about forensic science. Talk about anatomy. Anatomy is the branch of science that deal with what? Human structure. Anatomy. Talk about neurology. Talk about neurosurgeon. So all these things are written. We said there are terms used under what? Medicine and surgery. And one thing about it is that it just helps to widen our scope, understanding what we call medicine. These are just few infinitesimal of terms used in medicine and surgery. And we're going to look at what do you call it? You know, under this medicine and surgery, normally questions normally come under what? Lessons and structure in your past question. It could be from science, it could be from art, it could be from sport, and that is why we are trying to touch some aspect of this thing so that you will not be left wanting. So please, what I would just need to implore you is to please, you can read on your own too, based on what we have done here. The lists are inexhaustible. You can read on your own and lay hands as well. But our own is to put it through and show you some past questions that relate to the topic treated here. We wouldn't want you to relax too much. Don't show any element of complacency. Time waits for nobody. Knowledge without application is futile. It is when you apply that it becomes quite useful. So as a result, I believe that what we have done today, you should have, I believe that you've actually grabbed one or two things under terms used in medicine and surgery. I don't want it to be too complex or complicated. That's why we are just slow and steady wins the race. So I believe that you may have one or two questions regarding what we have just done now or what we're still doing. So I want to use that opportunity to entertain question from your side. So now, based on what we have just done now, this is what time used in medicine and surgery. Initially, I wouldn't want to work because of time constraint and the exam is around the corner. So we need to accelerate the pace of what we are doing. We are going to look at another aspect too, very close to this one, time used in law. Let's see. I know that some of you are art related. You should be able to have one or two things under that one. Under time used in law, we have number one, we have client. We have advocate. We have solicitor. We have perjury. We have defense counsel. Prosecuting counsel. We have barrister. We have a libel. We have assault. We have no, let me just, when we talk about client, we all know that a client is a person that seeks the advice of a professional. If you're a lawyer, someone that seeks your professional advice or your work ethics is called what? Your client. And it's your primary duty to defend that person in the court of law. Now we have what? Advocate. Advocate, the lawyer that represents his client in a court of law. We have what is called what? Solicitor. A solicitor is a lawyer that prepares legal documents. Will. All this rich, influential personality, they have their own private lawyer that deal with what? Properties. Then what's called perjury, the act of telling lies in a court of law. We have defense counsel. A defense counsel is a lawyer that protects the interest of his client in the court of law. We have a prosecuting counsel. We know that lawyer, their primary function is to distort the truth. Not that they are wrong, that's their own job, their job ethics. Now, when we talk about prosecuting counsel, is a lawyer that interrogates and cross-examine an accused person with the aim of extracting the truth. Sometimes, if you're not careful, they will tell you that what you have not done, you begin to confess, acknowledge what you have never done. So when you talk about barrister, a barrister is a lawyer who has attended what? Bar school, and he has given what? Certificate to what? To showcase his what? His talent. Now, there are two categories of people. If you have not attended bar school, you are not yet a certified lawyer. A certified lawyer is a lawyer, having finished his course, then goes to what? Bar school. Then, having finished, you begin what? Certificate to what? To represent your client, but in the court of law. A charge and bail lawyer is a lawyer that effects the release of an accused person, but they cannot represent that person in the court of law because he's not yet what? A certified lawyer because he has not gone to law school. So when you are a barrister, when you are called to bar, mean you're already what? Officially given what? The permission to showcase your profession. Then we have libel. There are two ways we call it derogative statement. A false derogative statement intended to damage the reputation of a person. A false derogative statement intended to damage the reputation of a person. Now, listen, let's assume that you are contesting election with a friend of yours, and the guy is intimidated by your credibility or your antecedent. He now resort to what? Libel. He worked with a newspaper, a journalist. They now wrote something damaging about your personality. You can sue them to court as well as close the newspaper. That's what we call libel. There's another one, slander, opposite of libel. When you talk about slander, this is a false defamatory statement. Spoken. While libel is what? Written. Intended to damage the reputation of a person. Just like you are contesting with someone, and that person feel intimidated. Now resort to what? Cheap blackmail. Saying defamatory statement in order to bring you down so that people know what support you. This one is written, while the other one is what? Spoken. Then assault, the crime of physically causing damage to a person. It could be wife. You know, there are some men that they cannot control their temperament or libido. We call them what? Assault and battery. That is when a man transfers his aggression to his wife and you beat that person to a state of unconsciousness. It can be sued to court. Likewise, all these young aspiring students that like to showcase element of fashion, wearing skimpy skirts, they can trigger libido in the minds of students. It can lead to assault. So assault is all physically causing injury to a person. It is against the law. We also have the crime of setting fire on property. We have what's called remand home. Now, remand home is a place for juvenile delinquency. A young person with the age of 8 to 14, if he commits any offense, he will be taken to remand home, a place for young offenders. And the primary purpose is to ensure that they will turn over a new leaf. After attaining that age of 18, if there's any sign of remorse or regret in his action, they will take him to court and will be found, they will release him. But if that has not shown any form of remorse, after attaining that 18 years, they will take him to court and if he's found guilty, he will face the warrant of his arrest. So remand home is for what? Young offenders. But someone who has attained the age of 19, 20, 25, if you commit any crime, you face your warrant of arrest. Nobody. Whether it's the content of court. We have caught someone. Perversion of justice. Now, when you talk about content of court, when you are in the court premises, there's what we call witness box. The court clerk will usher and witness to the truth and nothing but the truth. Now, if there's any distortion of the statement of the witness, refusal to, we call it what? Refusal to obey court order or do something against court, and it's called content of court. Refusal to obey court order, punishable under the law. Then when you go court someone, invitation given to the person to appear in the court of law at a specified date in future. Invitation given to a person to appear in the court of law at a specified date in the future is called court summon. Then perversion of justice. Perversion of justice. Perversion of justice. Simply so, the act of telling lies in a court of law. The act of telling lies in a court of law is called perversion of justice. Now, they also have a court clerk. Court clerk is a person that will read that court cases and usher the witness to witness box. And we have a presiding judge. Presiding judge is the judge that presides over the affairs of the court. That preside over the affairs of the courts. He has the final say. Whatever he says is what? Final. It is quite irrevocable, except you go for what? You seek for a court of appeal. Now, when we talk about presiding judge, the word preside over, he has authority, jurisdiction over the affairs of the court. Over the affairs of the court. Now, look at what we have done. And we've used one stone to kill two birds today. We have done time using medicine and surgery as well as time using law. Because of our time constraint, the exam in your past question, majorly law and medicine, every 33 years, they will always come out there. And that's why we're trying to ensure that we could fast track some of these things so that we're able to have one or two things. So at this junction, I think I'll allow you to ask one or two questions. In the absence of none, I think we shall reconvene next week.